someone tell me it isn't so. We only have Ballerina Farms back in the news rotation. I can't believe it. Well, I can believe it because I feel like every few months there seems to be something to do with whatever the hell is going on in that farm. And I will not lie to you, I have been kind of transfixed on the Ballerina Farm height since that news article came out, which was very much painting Hannah Nealman as this like mistreated ballerina who just wanted to dance, but now she is forced to have like 10 million kids and live in the middle of nowhere with her husband, who, by the way, extremely rich family, where her husband forces her to take care of the children and tend to whatever's going on so that he can live out his fantasy of running a farm. Oh, and we cannot forget about the fact that he got her an apron for her birthday. And I swear she asked for someone else. Was it a Greece trip? She asked for a Greece trip and she got this like egg apron.
My birthday present from Daniel. Hoping their tickets to Greece.
Where's it from?
I don't know, the boys took it off.
I took it off.
It's from Ukraine.
So, plane tickets? Ooh, a hat I can wear in Greece.
What's that hat?
It's not.
Oh, my egg apron!
Eggs in it.
Great, they didn't gather eggs.
So cute. It's really cute.
Anyway, internet went feral over it. I remember I went kind of feral over it as well because I really thought for a minute, like, this guy is trash. This woman has been roped into just years and years and years of servitude for her family, and did she even really want that at the very beginning? Well, since then, so much stuff has kind of happened, and we're going to be real with you. All of it has kind of just been a little bit of drama. It's been like, ooh, she's now selling a chopping board for like $160. Oh, what's going on? People talking about how expensive their protein shakes are, lots of people reviewing and all of that. Because we have to remember, Ballerina Farms was never intended just to be, oh, yeah, we are this religious family who have all of these kids and we have this homestead and look at us living off the grid. It was never going to be like that. But I think a lot of people thought that it might be. So when it's turned into this very profitable business with a lot of retailers attached to the name, because we have to remember she doesn't even bake the croissant. Okay, she doesn't even do that. She doesn't do a lot of like the pastry stuff. She employs a separate person to do that. She's not actually making half of this stuff. I'd say she's not making most of it, but who am I? I'm not in her kitchen.
The croissants that we share or sell on the website. Obviously, we sell them in retail, but we first started shipping them out. They are an expensive product, and it's not because we're upping the price because we have an audience online. It's because Chef Ben hand makes every single one in his little kitchen here locally. He takes really intense pride in these croissants that he makes, and then we buy them from him. And then we put them in a box with dry ice, and to ship that box, these are not our shipping costs. This is just what the mail carriers charge us. Oftentimes it's more than that.
But she has been in controversy, yes she has, because I think this has been going on for about a year now. From my own understanding, so people who are Ballerina Farm experts can correct me if you do so wish, but from my own understanding of the situation, she would advertise at first, this was like a little while back, yeah, she was advertising selling raw milk. Okay, so that is unpasteurized milk. That is basically from the teat to a bottle, like having no pasteurization, no boiling, no de-pooing, none of that, okay? None of that's happening. Straight from the source, essentially. She was doing that. And a lot of people were very concerned. She preaches raw milk. She has talked before about the benefits, so-called benefits of drinking raw milk. And yes, that is that. And she was called out for it quite extensively. I believe at one point she used to advertise that she sold raw milk, but then had to pull that advertising. She then changed it to like, you can purchase it from the shop. Like they actually have a Ballerina Farms shop, it's a little storefront when you go there. You can inquire to buy it, but it had a big label of like not for human consumption. That's how people get around selling raw milk, by the way. Why are you buying it? Unless you've got like a calf without a mum and no other cow will give them their teat. Why are you purchasing raw milk if not for human consumption? Anyway, that's happened. But recently, right, really recently, this is where it gets a bit interesting, right? They got big telling off. They got really big telling off because they actually appeared in the news. Why did they appear in the news, Amy? It says Hannah Nealman's Ballerina farm halts sale of raw milk due to bacteria concerns. Screenings from summer 2025 showed high levels of coliform, the family of bacteria that includes E. coli, in Ballerina farms bottled raw dairy that she was in fact selling to the public for not under human consumption.
Hi, I'm a microbiologist, and this was my exact reaction when I heard that Ballerina Farms had to stop selling raw milk because it was contaminated with poop bacteria. Yeah, that tracks. What did you expect? Like, I tell you for years that raw milk is not safe. Raw milk can have fecal bacteria no matter how safe you are, no matter how healthy the cow is, no matter how much you clean the cow. Bacteria and fecal matter can still be in the raw milk. But no, as soon as I say that, I get people in my comments, well, if you do it safe, if you clean the udders, if the cow's healthy, if it lives in a field. No. No matter what you do, raw milk is never going to be safer than pasteurized milk. Pasteurization does not affect the nutritional profile. Pasteurization does not affect the nutritional value. It does not affect anything about the milk except the amount of bacteria that is in it. And if we've learned anything, it's that raw milk is not safe.
There are a multitude of reasonings as to why people choose to pasteurize, and that is what is highly recommended. People that study microbiology, people who study food safety, people who are farmers, even farmers will tell you, most farmers will tell you that they will not touch unpasteurized milk. I used to live on a farm, and it in fact was a cow farm. It wasn't a dairy farm. But it was a cow farm, and these cows were free range, right? They came in the winter, but they were out during the spring, summer. They were out like 3/4 of the year, in a quarter of the year. And even when they were out in the field, cows get so dirty, right? Cows get so dirty, and it's either mud, or it's crap, right? It's cow crap. It doesn't matter how clean you say the cows are. Absolutely no way. And I feel like what Ballerina Farms constantly tries to promote is that, look at how clean and da 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 da, like their inside sheds are and all of that. And I feel like half the reason why they do it is so that people get off their backs about animal welfare, because you're always going to have people who don't feel like, farmers are doing enough for the welfare and the cleanliness of their animals, da da da, even though cows shit a lot. Wherever a cow is, there is a whole lot of mess. Anyway, beyond the point. But I think the other reason why she does it is so that she's like, look at how clean look how clean the surrounding is. Therefore, you should trust us to drink this raw milk. You should trust us to drink this milk. Unpasteurized, you should do that. Not to mention as well is that like cows can get mastitis just like humans, just like we can. They can also get mastitis, which is like when there's like a clogged milk duct in your boob, and it's incredibly painful and it goes red and swelly, and sometimes pus can go in it. Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen if you're squeezing milk out of that and then you put it into a bottle and you sell it? Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is where you can end up with really bad problems when you give it to humans. I have seen some people who preach drinking raw milk, right? They preach it. They're like, it's the best thing for you, it's this, it's that, it has so many benefits. And they try and persuade mums who are pregnant to be drinking this. And the problem is that you can give yourself all sorts of bacterial infections, and it can lead to sudden infant death, it can lead to stillbirth, it can lead to so many problems if you're giving this to pregnant women. But a lot of these women, I will say women, who are advocating for the drinking of raw milk are also saying, especially for pregnant women, they should be drinking this. And I'm just like, what? Where are you getting this information from?
Yeah, there's been a few things that it's like, They're not really homesteaders. This is all a fake facade. And it's like, oh, if you could just, and I mean, I'm the first one to say that we are definitely newbies in agriculture. So there's a lot of mistakes that we have made along the way. I mean, it's crazy to see how much we've learned from day one to now.
The company originally sold its products exclusively online, but last year they opened up 2 brick and mortar stores in Utah, a farm stand in Camas, and the flagship store in Midway. According to the Ballerina Farm website, the former location is near the Nealman's Dairy. According to a report by KPCW, health inspectors found 2 violations following routine milk testing conducted in late May and early June. The local Utah outlet cited Utah Department of Agriculture and Food records, which reportedly show that the screening showed high levels of coliform, which is the family of bacteria that causes E. coli in the Ballerina Farm's raw milk.
There's a lot of mistakes that we have made along the way. I mean, it's crazy to see.
According to the Department of Agriculture and Food informational page on the production of raw milk, those permitted to distribute the product are subjected to monthly testing to ensure raw milk meets safety standards. Following Ballerina Farm's unsatisfactory results, the brand stopped selling the raw milk. However, representatives for the business clarified to people that their raw milk did indeed pass the necessary test to be sold in the state of Utah. Of course, they're going to say that, aren't they? Personally, I don't think any of the raw milk should be allowed. Okay, so Daniel comes into it. Daniel says that the Ballerina Farm has come to better understand the process behind making consumable unpasteurized dairy products. Producing raw milk takes careful planning from a facility and infrastructure standpoint. Unfortunately, we learnt this after the fact. The way our dairy was built is ideal for pasteurized dairy products. We do plan in the future to construct a second dairy made specifically for raw milk products. The state of Utah requires daily testing and any raw milk sold from our stand pass. But the Utah Department of Agriculture states that ingesting unpasteurized dairy product can lead to serious health risks. The organization lists E. coli, salmonella, and listeria among other pathogens that can be found in raw milk. In October 2024, the content creator, Hannah, claimed it was aiding her beauty and wellness routine. The former Mrs. American title holder said her mother pointed out that she might have been benefiting from the dairy product. She was like, when you started drinking raw milk, your skin got a lot better. Hannah recalled of her mum's beauty note, and I kind of think there's something to that. Okay, so ignore all the scientists, ignore what the doctors have to say, ignore the research, right? Hannah's mum came to her and said that her skin looks great. So it must be linked to the raw milk. It could be a lot of different things. I'm really sorry, but Hannah, I don't know what a mum does, but Hannah and her husband do not strike me as scientists. I'm going to be honest. Like, you're not doing a process of elimination with this skin raw milk thing. I don't know why. Like, there's just some things. Like, when people try and literally fight science, it makes me annoyed. I'm not saying that I'm like the cleverest bean in the garden, right? But what I am saying is it really boils my piss when people just start, like, I feel like they're just doing it just to be confrontational. Sometimes I really, really, really do. I really do. So people just trying to argue with science, and I'm just like, why are you getting so, what, can we all just agree? It was because her mum told her that she had good skin, so they're gonna literally build a whole separate entity onto their dairy farm just for the sole purpose of selling raw milk. No one wants your poopy milk. I'm really sorry, but no one, especially after this, like, if anyone after this still goes and buys raw milk, I'm going to be so shocked.
There's a lot of products, same with our protein powder, where Daniel and I and the team are in these product development meetings. Like, oh, we have built an audience over the last 8 years that trust us and have watched us grow, and it wouldn't be exciting or fun or fulfilling to me to cut corners on things and sell them at a lower price. And so there's a lot of decisions we make in the business that really ensure quality in our products. We're building a business and jumping into a lot of new things with a lot of eyes on us.
Her products are expensive. That chopping board wasn't actually made by her. She came across it. There was this woman who was really, really struggling to like look after her and her kids. Hannah explained this, and Hannah loved the chopping board she made, so she started promoting it, and now she's gotten that woman out of like the depths of hell, basically, which is so admirable. I love that story. Whether it's true or not, I love it. It does have a different logo on it, so I am assuming that she is in fact telling the truth. Lovely story. We don't get, but I mean, board experts, like people that literally collect chopping boards. Not I, but there are people. This board, it bends. It is not designed to be used as like a chopping board. It's more like a display piece. It's not something that you touch, but it's $150, I'm pretty sure. My bad, it's more than that because I just put it into the checkout and it's $194. That is pre-shipping, so it will probably be about like 250 quid, and in dollars that will be like 300 and something dollars, so that's really expensive. But I am calculating shipping. Without the shipping it's like 194 quid, which could be about $250. Very expensive. For instance, right, I'm just going to click on one thing here. So they do protein, like protein powders, and it's called farmer protein. This one's called strawberry cream. That's it. So here, without subscribing and saving, if I just got it one time. So for 36.7 ounces, £51. I mean, I don't use protein powder, but that's very, very, very expensive. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be like a gym head to be using protein powder. That's not it. But the people that I usually see promoting protein powders are usually people that are very, very active. They do sport, they do summit. Yeah, they're usually the ones that are promoting the protein powders. But the people, honestly, the people that I have seen promoting Ballerina farms is usually young women or slash and Christian women who, and you can see because it says, you know, I love Jesus and all of this in their Instagram or TikTok bio.
Okay, here's the thing with this Ballerina Farm protein powder. Not everyone is going to love the taste of this protein, especially if you are currently using a protein powder that has artificial sweeteners in it, added sugar, natural flavors. This is going to taste a lot different to you because they use clean, non-toxic ingredients. It's naturally sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. I have tried quite a few clean protein powders out there, and this is one of my absolute favorites.
And what they started doing recently, right, this is all relevant because what they've started doing recently is they've started doing like little brand trips, but it's not really a brand trip. It's more like flying influencers out to the Ballerina Farms homestead. I've come across a couple and they all appear to be like Christian young women. And these people are getting quite a bit of backlash. I saw a comment, it was this girl called Abby who was doing like day one of Ballerina Farm's very first creator brand trip, and someone commented, I'm so glad this shows how clearly they're a multi-million-dollar company and not some family-owned farm like they purport themselves to be. Abby said, seeing behind the scenes made me love them and their brand even more. And there was loads of different comments talking about like, have you been to see their raw milk yet and stuff like that.
It's day 2 of Ballerina Farm's very first creator brand trip. We just went to the farm stand. I tried the soft serve. It is so good. I got some of their whole milk and I'm gonna make a little protein shake because yes, I did pack the entire variety pack on the plane with me. I'm gonna do vanilla because this one is always just so good. Every single person that works at Ballerina Farm, at the farm stand and at the store, has been the sweetest human. They have so many cute products that aren't even on TikTok shop right now.
So Detective Amy did some detecting work and it turns out that she was like rewarding her top TikTok shop pushers. You know what? To me, they're just TikTok shop pushers, all of them. They were rewarding the pushers over on TikTok for selling protein powders. What I will say is that I have seen quite a few people who upon realizing that this isn't like some small farm setup, this is actually like a full-on enterprise business, okay, I was a little bit confused at the very beginning just because I didn't know where they were taking their business. I honestly just thought they were like homesteading and then all of a sudden they were huge. But I got the idea of it quite quickly. But there are some people who are still catching up with the idea that, like, no, these people make a hell of a lot of money and they are like, they're literally shipping over here and they're not even making most of their products. They're actually getting other people to make them, but then slapping ballerina farms on it, which will instantly just boost up the price. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're a massive thing now. So they're not this little like cute homesteading thing. But there are some people that do think that Hannah doesn't actually do it all herself and that she has like nannies and all of this and she actually doesn't live that kind of lifestyle. That could very well be true. Them and their poopy milk aside, okay, I will be very, very, very disappointed in any of you who go and consume the Ballerina Farms poopy milk. I will be very, very, very upset. Slap on the wrist to anyone who does so. But that's pretty much all I had to say. I just had to report. I had to fill you in on the poopy milk. I just had to talk about it because I've been waiting. Every single 6 months, it's like clockwork. Something happens with that farm that just sets people off. And to think that all of this came across because her mum said to her, your skin looks good. Your skin looks good today. Oh, it must be the raw milk. It must be. Ignore everything that anyone ever says about drinking raw milk. It must be that. Anyway, beyond the point, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.